the last one, I think it was the Mutiny on the Bounty one, opened with you saying, so apparently if you want to engage listeners, you've got to talk about your life. And then we had the most boring conversation we've ever recorded. I cut straight to the opening whistle sound.
I thought you did. I was like, oh, sure, we had some stimulating conversation.
It was appalling.
I couldn't remember what it was about.
It was shockingly forced.
Oh well. Yeah, maybe it's none of us lead. I don't think I lead a particularly exciting life, but maybe you guys do. Do
you know about my attempts to join a failing cricket club?
Oh, I don't think that's the content I was talking about. Mike.
Nah.
No, go on then. What's your attempt? Yes, you were going to join the staff cricket club.
Yeah. So I emailed them. I was like, so I've heard about this thing called cricket. I think I sort of vaguely know what way round to hold it. Do you have any sessions for beginners? And they got back to me very quickly. I'm like, yeah, I'll stick you on the mailing list. You'll hear this summer. You're going to love it. And then 2 months later, one email saying, is anyone available for the match against Largo next week? And then another email saying there weren't enough of you, so we've cancelled it. By the way, we're still not in the league because we can't find a regular time. And then a month later, I emailed saying, so have you been having training sessions? Because I feel like I can't just sign up to a match having never played before. And he replied saying, yeah, the Athletics Union won't replace our broken batting cages, so we can't even train. Yeah. Apparently all the people who are really into it have just joined this village team on the other side of Fife, and it looks like it might all collapse. So that's what happens when you try and take an interest and try and be more outdoorsy, right?
Oh, there you go. Stan was on that team, but he joined a bowling club in Crail.
Nice.
That's of any interest.
Bowling I could get into for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I expect I would halve the average age if I turned up. But...
Guy Malab's right into his bowling. Him and his fiancée.
Yeah, he's a big deal, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, well, his fiancée is taking part in the World Championships this week coming. She's representing Scotland.
Jings.
See, this is the stuff listeners want.
Yeah.
I know someone who knows someone who did something interesting.
Linford Christie once came and visited my school when I was 9.
Stop. Oh my God.
Yeah. Mr. Motivator came and visited my school when I was 14. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is exciting.
Had everyone in the sports hall sweating it out.
Sure he did.
I didn't really know who he was.
I only recently learned who he was.
I barely know who he is.
He seems like a great guy.
Right, I watched the film last night. I'm dying to talk
hang on,
about it.
Give me a minute to watch play the bloody music. Are we all ready?
Yeah. Got my hand on my heart.
Smashing!
Great. Gosford Park.
Gosford Park.
Laura, you picked this one.
I did.
Bit out of the ordinary for you, but I started to get it after a little
while. What do you mean?
When I was watching this, I was thinking this... Well, we'll talk about what I thought in a bit. Where did you come up with this? I've been watching a period drama series, and I got really in the mood for period stuff. Mm-hmm.
And then was that Bridgerton?
It was originally Bridgerton, although I hate Bridgerton, and then it was Sanditon.
What?
I mean, it's sort of a fun hate watch for me. Maybe I grudgingly admit that I kind of enjoy it. But are you a Bridgerton man, Fernando?
Yes.
Oh, well, we should talk about it because I have a lot of thoughts on it. but maybe not right now.
Okay, so you're on a period drama
I was
kick.
on a period binge. Netflix was like, maybe you should watch Gosford Park. And then I saw some of the cast and I thought, this sounds like a good time. And then I watched it. So I watched it probably about 6 weeks ago. And I've watched it about 4 times since.
Wow.
The first time I didn't have a fucking clue what was going on. Was just overwhelmed by the sheer number of people that it follows.
Yeah.
And their lack of care about, you knowing who they are for the first maybe hour.
Yeah.
So people are just talking about people, they're naming them, but we don't really, I mean, it doesn't, not a lot of time spent getting to know their names, I would say. Anyway, it was a kerfuffle, and then I sort of just put it on again for some reason, and watched it in the background. But again, wasn't really paying so much attention. But the third time, no, that was worse. Sorry, we don't need to know about this. Then I watched it last
But what
night,
about the fourth time?
It was fresh in my head last night. Loved it. Amazing film. I really think this is just a beautiful film.
Right.
Yes. What do you all think?
Well, I suspect you're Oscar baiting with this choice.
Do you think?
After Knives Out won Best Picture.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be clever of me. It didn't really occur to me, to be honest. Although I have been thinking about the Oscars a lot because I've finally nailed down my categories
With the all-star cast. Oh, you have. Interesting.
I'll save them.
Can't wait. Yeah, the all-star cast and the...
It's a totally Oscar baiting film.
I think you're Oscar baiting. Did you like it, Claire?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good film. And yeah, it was kind of a classic murder mystery in a lot of ways, but also it had a bit more to it, a bit more social commentary. It was a bit more depth than a normal murder mystery. So yeah, I enjoyed it. How about Fernando and Michael?
Fernando, did you like it?
Yeah, I was certainly more interested in half of the film. The first half was like a little slow, maybe.
Interesting.
But yes, I liked it. Did I like it more than Death and Denial? I'm not sure.
That's what I had to ask. I had to ask myself that question, and I wasn't sure either. Death on the Nile was good fun. I think I do like it more than Death on the Nile.
Right.
What about you, Michael?
I thought this was a good film.
Okay.
Maybe not a great film.
Interesting.
It was a long way from Death on the Nile, that's for sure.
Do you think?
Yeah. It, so it was good. It was well acted. It had some interesting ideas, but it lacked originality somehow. Why did I particularly care about this film? It was just late enough that it had to be aware of the fact that it was a sort of restoration of the murder mystery genre, a revival film, and so it almost winked at you a couple of times, didn't it, as if to say, we know this is a murder mystery. But if you're going to do that, I think you need to be a bit more like Knives Out and really take it somewhere and do something surprising, which I thought this film didn't really do. It was like an Agatha Christie plot, but without the perfection of an Agatha Christie plot.
Yeah, okay.
But it was good. And
had anyone seen this before?
No.
No.
No, none of you.
No, barely heard of it.
Oh, right. Oh. No, I hadn't heard of it before on Netflix.
Which is surprising because it's, again, with the cast, it's got to be a big deal. But no, I liked it. I had a wonderful moment. I didn't get that it was a murder mystery until quite shortly before the murder happened.
Ask. Yeah.
And then I suddenly stopped for a second. I thought, hang on. They're all in a country house, and it's like a dark night, and everybody
Dark Knight was a Batman film.
Oh, sorry. It's a bit like a Dark Knight. Yeah, there's we keep seeing this poison, and there's a knife that's gone missing, and everybody hates each other for about 10 different reasons. What's about to... Oh, it's a murder mystery. I get it. Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. That's why I told you to avoid the Netflix description, because it's totally
okay.
William McCardle is murdered in his house. So
Right. Oh, I didn't see that at all.
Good.
Yeah, I kept spoiler free. I didn't even know who was going to be in it, and so the big surprise for me was Stephen Fry turning up. I was like, oh, now we've got a film. I literally paused it and went and got popcorn at that point. But overall, did it fail to live up to something or other? It was just a good film.
I see. I kind of agree. I don't really agree. I became a bit obsessed with it. And have read a lot of stuff about it since. I've watched the little tiny mini documentary that was made about it, and stuff. And emphasise, sorry, I know I do this every single time, but it doesn't really matter what they said, but they weren't super going for them. The murder mystery was kind of irrelevant. It may as well have not been a murder mystery.
Okay.
So
yeah,
I think
there
that
wasn't
was
much mystery, was there?
Yeah, even I figured it out before it was revealed, and that never happened.
Oh, I didn't.
Did you not? Oh, well.
So I guess this was one of my questions. Do you think there was enough that we could have worked it out? Were you sure?
Yeah, for sure. I worked it out when Helen Mirren came into his room and saw the photograph, and I can't remember how, because this was 6 weeks ago or something, but I pieced it together that she was his mum, and that William must be his dad, and that they were leading up to him murdering him. And that when she brought the coffee in, I was like, There
so they both murdered him, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Without realising that the other one was going to.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well,
But she knew that he was going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She pre-murdered him so that the son couldn't. Because she's a good servant. So she preempted that need for him to be already dead.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so certainly it was a good film, and I'm glad you said, Laura, that you've watched this a load of times, because watching it a lot of the time I was thinking, wait, shit, who was that? And who are they talking? Is that the same woman from earlier? And now she's wearing a different hat, but they all look the same. And I've struggled a bit. I could do with another couple of watches, and I think it would hold up to it as well. I think it'd be worth rewatching.
I think so. I've spotted something new every single time I've watched it.
Right.
Oh.
Maybe that's how the undergrads feel every time they go to lecture. I'm like, well, what is happening? Maybe I should take this course again 4 times.
Claire, you were saying about recorded lectures, right?
Was it?
If you've got a recorded lecture, students tend to do better if they watch it twice at double speed than if they watch it once at the regular speed.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I should have done that for this film, just watch it twice at double speed.
I don't know where I read that.
I feel like that might spoil the atmosphere.
Yes, it would lose something, wouldn't it? Maybe for the third watch.
Yeah, it's true. I didn't get a lot out of my third watch. I sort of watched it as a mini-series on the third watch. That was it.
Right, okay.
But yeah, anyway, I think that's what they tried to do. So they did try and sort of subvert the genre a bit by... They made... it's such a long film. The murder mystery doesn't even start for an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, the murder's about halfway through, isn't it? But I feel like that's standard. Wasn't it the same for Death on the Nile?
Maybe.
Sort of half set up, then the murder, then the other half working it out.
Yeah, could be, I suppose. Yeah, maybe. I kind of got the sense when I was watching it as well that it didn't really matter who did it. That's what the quote from the director was like. It's not a who done it. It's a this has happened or something like that. It's just a fact of the film that someone got murdered. Who cares?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It is tantalizing though. You want to know who did it, don't you?
Oh yeah, it'd be very unsatisfying if you never learned.
Yeah.
I thought it was good how they did reveal the mystery, because we had that character, what was her name, Mary. If there was a main character, it was probably her. Like we were kind of seeing it from her point of view, and I like that she was sort of lost in this environment as we were, just trying to work out what everyone does, what everyone's role is, and she was piecing together the mystery and revealing it as she figured it out. Not like a big... so it was like, the character we were following was the one figuring it out with us, in a sense.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a nice way of doing that, rather than just having the great detective walk in at the end and say, well, you all didn't spot... I don't know,
that was quite fun, I
teaspoon
thought.
in the butter or whatever.
To have a detective who's totally incompetent and never
That's
redeems
really
himself.
Yes, and just utterly fails to solve the mystery.
It's fun. Yeah, what did you think of Stephen Fry?
He was good, wasn't he? But also, I think I have spent too much time seeing him not as a character. he kind of just seemed like Stephen Fry had turned up.
Yeah, I wasn't too taken with him in this. And it takes a lot for me to say that, because I do absolutely adore Stephen Fry.
Yeah.
It was a bit out of place, I thought, on two of my watches. I got into him last night, though. I was glad he was there.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm wondering if I'd never seen Stephen Fry before and didn't know who he was, maybe I'd have thought he was brilliant. Suddenly he was a funny character, but I couldn't not think it's Stephen Fry.
Yeah. What about the rest of them, though? The rest of them are so... I guess they're all actors. It's not really like it's...
Yeah, most of them... I mean, Maggie Smith always plays characters like that, doesn't she? So even if you remember it's Maggie Smith, that's her, though.
Has anyone seen Downton Abbey?
No.
Right, okay. Because this was like the start of it. It was written by the same guy, and it was going to be a sequel to Gosford Park, but they decided to change some of the names. So Maggie Smith basically plays the same character.
Oh, that's funny.
I hear. I've never seen it.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
I've been told that Maggie Smith has never watched an episode of Downton Abbey, which is strange, but...
That's fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, I think you'd watch it at least once, but maybe when you're Maggie Smith, you don't have to.
She's got other things to watch, like WrestleMania.
Yeah. Bridgerton.
Maggie Smith stole the show.
She always does, doesn't she?
She does.
She can't take your eyes off her. She's brilliant.
Pretty much every time I've had a meal now, I've been like, ooh, yummy, yummy, yummy. I'm going to keep saying that forever now. Yummy. Starving.
Your family going to get fed up with you, like when you were drinking those little mojito-flavoured gin and tonics and calling them tinnies.
Yeah. Get another tinny out. I'll start doing it in the Australian accent.
Throw another tinny on the Barbie. Back to the film. I thought you'd quite like the upstairs downstairs aspect of this, Michael.
I did, and I thought they did it particularly well too. At least from what I know of, like early 20th century servants in houses, it seemed to hit all of these really interesting things, like how they are often much worse snobs than the people upstairs, and they rank they rank each other according to who their employers are, and live their lives through the people they're waiting on, and they gossip terribly, and I thought that was interesting, and the way that they're sort of seen as so disposable, even though they're in some cases the only things holding this whole thing together. I liked that a lot. I particularly liked one of the people for that. Was she called Elsie? The one that was staying in the room with Mary, and was sort of
head housemaid, I think.
Was that it? Who eventually turned out to have been sleeping with Willie all along. She was great. She had this perfect kind of, I don't know, disdain for the upstairs lot, but also an acceptance of what her lot in life was. And
yeah, she was good. This is why. So I wanted to. I think, to be honest, the main reason I picked this game is because I wanted to play the "Who Are We" game.
Oh, great!
I've been thinking about it a lot. I'd like to see what you guys think, and then I'll tell you the right answers because I've thought about it a lot.
Who are we?
Oh man.
Claire is Mary, I think.
Okay, no, that's wrong.
No,
but go on.
Okay.
Is that just because I'm Scottish?
That is no small part of it. But no, you get on with things, don't you? And you do your best. You listen to people when you need to, and you confront people when you need to, and you have a rare perceptive quality.
Could
Indeed.
be. I sort of had a bit of Mary for Claire, but then Mary's she's a little bit passive, I thought.
You don't think I'm passive?
No, I don't think you're passive at all.
She speaks up when she needs to. She went into the guy's room and said, "Hang on."
Oh, I suppose. Yeah, no, that wasn't very passive.
She seized the day.
I mean, she still went in and sort of had a little cry.
I did a lot of crying.
She did seize the day. Yeah, no, I can't. Yeah, she did. I like that scene. I'd like to return to that scene at some point. But let's. Fernando, who do you think we all are?
Oh, whoa, this is so intense.
You'd have to remember who any of the characters were.
Hmm.
Would you like to pass to Michael?
Can I pass momentarily and continue thinking about this?
Oh, yes.
I think Michael's Ivor Novello.
I also kind of had him, and then I changed my mind.
The dreamy film star.
I think Fernando's Ivor Novello, and I think Michael is Stephen Fry.
Yep, I can see that.
Who is the fake Scottish person?
Oh, that was, what was his name? Henry Denton.
Henry Denton, yeah. Oh, he was a nasty bastard, wasn't he?
He was, bad sort.
What do you reckon, Fernando? Is that you? Gonna break a few hearts?
Well, I would be the authentic Scottish person, but yes.
Yes, okay.
I thought I would either have Fernando as Ivor, because he's just a sort of sweet, sensitive soul who's just getting along with everyone, entertaining us. Or George, the really withering footman. Do you remember the guy who's like
Richard E. Grant?
Richard E. Grant, yeah, sort of just.
Oh yeah,
suiting himself.
Yes.
I don't know who he is.
Oh no,
the tall one, the tall skinny servant.
He always wanted a cigarette. He ran out of milk at one point and he was like, "Be right back."
You know, it's a great character when you're like, oh, which one? You know, the one that needed milk.
I thought he was a great character. That was a bad example.
Wait, it was only a woman who needed some milk, some cold milk, maybe?
Oh, yeah, that was Sylvia.
Yeah,
yeah, that was good.
Another person needing milk?
The servant.
The servant.
Yeah, he was one of the servants.
They had run out of milk for the coffee after dinner, and he said he was going to get milk, and instead
that was really his least interesting scene. I don't know why.
Snuck off for a cigarette and was unaccounted for during the murder. So it was there as a bit of a red herring, I think, because, as you say, he was quite withering and stuff. He could have been a suspect, I think.
Yeah. They didn't really give him a motive.
Was really tall.
He was really tall, yeah.
Yeah, he was tall.
Sylvia was interesting, wasn't she?
I loved Sylvia.
This real, the sort of assertive dominance of the upper classes, but a sort of, kind of not entirely unkind with it.
She seemed really, I don't know, just like her life was boring to her.
Yeah.
Like she was just endlessly kind of bored. Insouciant.
Pardon?
She was very insouciant.
What does that mean?
Really sort of bored, casual, a bit sort of rude is how I think of it.
Showing a casual lack of concern.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, also quite withering at times.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of withering in this film, wasn't
Everyone
there?
was very withering.
It was a withering film.
They should have called it Withering Heights.
Yeah, suddenly all the experienced servants were very withering.
Yeah, I just want to know what you all thought of everyone. Let's go through them all one by one and you can give your opinions on them.
Right, I've got a cast list. Top one, Lady Trentham, Great. Maggie Smith.
Fantastic. Loved every moment with her. I loved it, especially when she was being mean to Ivor and Morris.
Yep.
I thought it was hilarious, but also I would hate her in real life.
Oh God, yes, she'd be insufferable.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I think I could grow fond of her. She was just a kind of fussy, foolish old lady, and I'm very partial to a fussy, foolish old lady.
Yeah, she was terrible. She was very rude and cruel.
But in such a fun way.
Yeah, it was funny, wasn't it?
It was fun that we could mock her.
It's funny until you have to work for her, and then that's your life, and you get slung out if you laugh at her.
What did you think of her, Fernando?
She was old.
She was old.
She was.
But she was funny, I guess. She was not the worst person.
Okay, not the worst.
Yeah.
Not the worst.
Pretty funny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next character, William, played by Michael Gambon.
Ooh.
He was the worst.
He was really a bad
turned
egg.
out to be dreadful, didn't he? I feel like when he was alive, he didn't give us very much of reason to hate him, but it was all this stuff that came out after he died, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
he wasn't great.
He was a bit of an old perv, but I mean,
exactly.
Who hasn't?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't hate him. I liked how much he loved his dog.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
I hated the dog.
It was a shit dog, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Was it?
I
Yeah.
thought it had a funny little face.
It was
very
really
placid.
filthy looking and... Yeah, at least it wasn't noisy.
The dog was certainly the worst character in the film.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Never mind all the millionaires who are exploiting the working classes.
I like that he got kidnapped at the end.
Yes, that was a good little.
Yeah, but he'll be well looked after.
Yeah.
Next one was Sylvia, played by Kristen
William's
Scott
wife?
Thomas.
Oh, this is good because we can also puzzle out
William's
who's related
wife.
to who.
How old was Sylvia meant to be? Because I think we saw her daughters who looked not much younger than her.
Do you think? I thought. Oh
She
no,
only
I,
had one daughter, did she not?
Was it
Yeah,
just the
she
one
only had
daughter?
the one daughter.
Yeah, okay.
Isabel.
Isabel.
I thought Sylvia was around 40 and that Isabel was probably like not older than 20.
Okay. Yeah, I guess people started younger back then.
I thought she was nearer 50 or over 50.
I wouldn't have said she was as old as 50. I thought even 40 she looked a bit young for.
Really?
Yeah. I suppose we can see how old Kristen Scott Thomas was in 2001.
Yeah, let's have a wee look.
To which the answer is she was 41.
Spot on. Nearly.
Yeah.
Not quite spot on, but
Spot near.
spot near.
But yeah, she was good, wasn't she? She was so in command. I loved that she was just like, yeah, I like having sex with people. I'm just going to do that.
I like riding horses.
You'll do.
Yeah, she was great. She was very compelling.
Yeah.
A compelling woman to watch.
Did she love William?
God, no. I think she despised William.
You think she really despised him?
I do,
Was
yeah.
she a suspect in your mind?
No, I only suspected the men who left the room. Perhaps, I mean, again, if this was Agatha Christie, I would have suspected everyone.
Yeah.
But I really would have been doing backflips in my mind to try and figure out how she'd have done it. And it would have been for naught anyway, because she was never really a suspect.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It would have been. It probably would have been clever if it was a person who hadn't slinked away. But yeah.
See that? Anyway, she was cool.
Who's next?
Isabel, her daughter.
Isabel.
Bit of a wet blanket.
Oh, total wet blanket.
She looked kind of stoned at points as well, like as if she
Yeah.
was like coming down off a trip or something. It was very strange.
I thought it was
Isabel.
acted well though, because I totally know posh people like that. They're just like little children.
Yeah, well, she would have grown up in some ways very sort of privileged and pampered, not having to do anything for herself, but in other ways terribly deprived with her distant parents who didn't really care for each other or for her, was the impression I got. No one really seems to love Isabel, and that was sad.
Maybe Elsie. I don't think she really loved Isabel, but I can see why Isabel would become attached to Elsie.
Oh, yeah, Elsie cared for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, that relationship reminded me of Upstairs, Downstairs.
Yeah.
With I don't know any of their names, but...
Yep, Elizabeth was the daughter.
Oh,
And-
now I understand why she asked the servant to ask his father.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She knew.
Mhm.
she knew.
So it was also sort of implied that she'd like had an abortion, I think, and that was the blackmail that Freddie was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
over her.
okay.
Mm.
Oh,
Freddie was a real bastard, wasn't he?
Mm. Yeah. Not a fan of Freddie.
Thoroughly dislikable.
should we talk about Freddie next? Who was Freddie?
Freddie he wasn't related to anyone. He was the guy who had the wife he was embarrassed, Mabel. He was the guy who was trying to pressure Isabel into giving him money or a job.
Oh, yeah.
Blonde.
Foppish.
Yes, very foppish.
Okay. Yeah, so his wife was the one who didn't have a lady's maid, right?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah,
So it was
okay.
that he married her because he thought she had more money than she did, and now they don't
Yeah.
really have any money, and he hates her.
Yeah, so that was Mabel and Freddie.
Mabel.
And yeah,
I
and
liked
he was
Mabel.
I liked Mabel. We were doing parkrun
Really,
this morning.
Mabel.
We saw someone who was like Mabel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it looked a bit like her. You think you'll like Mabel, Claire?
Yeah. I found her quite relatable in a way.
She was a bit.
Well, that's just tough luck because you're Elsie.
I'm Elsie.
It has
You're
been
Elsie.
decided.
We decided that.
I didn't
She's-
decide that.
I thought we said that. She's.
I said she
a
was
perfect
Mary.
blend of Elsie is she's kind-hearted, but she's also very cynical, and that's how I think of Claire.
Well, you would think that, wouldn't you?
I think I have
the
to
nicest way
disagree with you
possible.
on that because I took some kind of vow at some point that I would do that.
Just because you took the vow.
I think it's a compliment. I wish I was kind-hearted but very cynical. What an interesting person.
I think you're kind-hearted but very cynical.
Do you think? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're
Yeah.
Elsie.
Appallingly cynical.
I don't want to be Elsie.
Oh, you don't want to be Elsie.
I want.
I'm
I
taking
want
the
to be
piss, I'm taking the
Sylvia.
Wait, is Elsie the one who got fired?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, can I be Elsie?
Do you know? Actually, I
absolutely.
also considered you as Elsie
Thank you.
and Maggie Smith.
Perfect blend of the two.
So we've established who everyone is then, in your opinion.
I think so.
If you're Sylvia.
I don't know if I'm Sylvia. I'd like to be Sylvia. She's kind of just bossy and in control, but I don't think that's me. I think I might be that little meek housemaid who was just kind of snap bitchy. That was
I don't remember her.
the one with she had kind of like a bowl cut. I don't know. To be honest, I couldn't decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Maybe I'm Morris Weissman. Oh, I'd love to be Charles Dance. Right,
Yeah, next
let's
up,
keep going with
Lord
the characters.
Stockbridge,
Lord
Charles Dance.
Stockbridge. All like my second favourite after Maggie Smith. Even though he was barely in it, every time he spoke, I was like, I'm fascinated by this man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Barely
Very-
said
He's very
two
watchable,
words.
isn't he?
Yeah. Everything that came out of his mouth was mean.
Yeah.
It was my favourite when his wife was sobbing after William died, and he was just like, Christ.
Oh, he said anyone would think you're an Italian.
Christ. I watched some deleted scenes, and they were pretty much all where he was like the main focus of the deleted scenes, and they just cut them all.
Oh man, that's
I mean, they were
stupid.
very much for the best because they didn't add to the film, I thought. But
Okay.
I know, but more Charles Dance is always
more
good.
Charles
Yeah.
Dance is good.
Need the director's cut. An extra
yeah.
hour.
So yeah, the deleted scene was him. He went up to Sylvia while they were walking, and he was like, "For God's sake, don't dredge up the past." That inspector's like looking around. I don't want to think, anything's still happening now. So like, kind of, it really implied that they've had an affair, which I
Yeah.
thought kind of came through in the main film anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we do his wife as well?
Oh, yes. Louisa, Lady
Louisa.
Stockbridge.
Who
Yes.
could
So
have been
she's
Lady McCordle
could have been yes.
from
Oh,
the
yeah.
cut of a card.
So that was a good. I enjoyed that. But yeah, so Sylvia, Lavinia, and Louisa are sisters.
Sylvia and
yeah.
Louisa are sisters. Yep.
And Lavinia, Commander Meredith's wife.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about her.
I got confused with all of the family connections, I have to say. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, okay, so Louisa Also having an affair with William.
Was she?
Well, she was the one, remember, she went into the library with him at the beginning and he sort of tries to kiss her and then she's like, Will!
Yep. Oh, there were too many characters.
Oh, this is maybe going to take too long to go through them all.
Yeah, we're like a quarter of the way through the list here. Well, we should have a go, shouldn't we? So then there was Ivan Novello, who was the movie heartthrob. We all liked him. He was
William's
the only
cousin.
one who didn't have like anything to gain. He wasn't a nasty bloke. He was just good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think so.
I liked everyone swooning over him, especially Mabel.
Yeah.
Oh, I found it actually quite moving when she got to sit down at the piano with him.
Yeah.
And he sort of sang that little song to her. She looked so happy.
She did. Freddie can't have been happy, but there we are.
Yeah. I don't think he was there. Oh no, he was playing. Was he playing?
He was playing cards.
He was
wasn't
playing cards. Yeah.
Yeah. So how about the Mr. Weissman, the ghastly American?
He was a bit ghastly. I didn't really warm to him.
But
I kind of
early
did
on
in the
he
beginning.
seemed all right, but
Yeah,
towards
he
the
got
end
worse
he was
and
just
worse.
being rude on the phone.
Yeah, he was. So just Ivor's friend, right? That's how they were.
Yeah.
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 Well, but as it turned out, he was there to study them, right?
Yeah. Like an anthropologist.
Which is very good fun.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Then we had Rupert Standish. I don't remember who that was. Played
That
by
was
Lawrence Fox.
Bastard.
This
Let's
isn't-
skip over them.
Right.
Really
I don't remember anyway. There's Jeremy Blonde.
That's just his pal. I don't know.
That's
They
his
weren't really.
pal.
Was
Yeah.
he the one that was
Rupert and Jeremy.
having sex with him?
Yeah, he was having sex with the maid.
When we
The
thought it
scullery
was,
maid.
Yes.
Yeah. When we thought it was Sir William.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
So he had an important role. His
They were the
underpants
two
did.
that turned up late for dinner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Why do you think he had an important role?
Because we thought he was William having sex with a maid.
Oh, right. Okay.
And that, I feel like it was important for, God, what was her name?
Mary.
No,
Elsie.
Elsie. I think so. What I thought was remarkable was when she heard that William had been having sex with a cook, and she just point blank said no, like that. He's not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was an important subplot for learning about those characters and learning about the trust she had in Sir William. Even though we thought she was just being stupid, we thought she was being taken advantage of, but we thought that she was also blind to his other philandering, because we thought that Mr. Blonde was William.
Yes.
So we thought she was like being duped, but then it turned out she was just very good at reading characters. She knew that Sir William wasn't cheating on her with another of the staff.
Yeah, that was interesting. It sort of took me a while to figure out that I don't think I really figured out that they were having a proper affair until she spoke up for him.
Okay.
I thought he was like creeping on her, but yeah, no, it was interesting that it was kind of all there from the beginning. You know, there's all these hints, and Mary asked her like, "What are they like? What's Lady Sylvia like to work for?" And she said, "Well, she's horrible. She's but he's okay." And then but clams up and stops talking about him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'd quite figured out what was going on by that point.
Anyway, who's next?
Next up,
Downstairs?
we have... we're getting towards downstairs now. In my list, we've got Inspector Tom.
Oh, okay.
I like that. So he was brilliant. We talked about him.
Yes.
Just completely useless, to just ignoring the constable who was trying to... actually
There's
solve
a
the
broken
crime.
coffee cup down here.
Yes, well, get one of the maids to do it, honestly. Get on with your own job. Hopeless. That was good fun.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Next on the list was Mary. Mary
Aw.
Come on.
I'm joking, but I actually
thank
can't.
God.
I was joking, but McEachran? McEachran?
Yeah.
McEachran.
Yeah.
McKeekron.
Yeah. Yeah, you stumbled over it there.
Did I?
I thought you did. Try again?
McEachran.
Yeah, okay.
McEachran. Fernando, do you wish your name was Mary McEachran?
My name is Fernando McEachran.
I always forget how Mexican surnames work. I forget what one of them is McEachran. So she was brilliant. I loved Mary.
She's so cute. She has such a cute little face.
Very cute,
like period face, I thought, in this.
Nice.
It was the hair that made her just eyes so like big and black. She was like a painting.
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
I've had trouble with Kelly MacDonald in the past.
Have you now? So have I.
What could you say why you have?
I just don't really like her in things sometimes. I can't think what. I don't really like her in Brave. I don't really like Brave though. What about you?
I've always been very unconvinced by her acting. I think it's something to do maybe with her accent. It sounds like she's sort of reading lines out as clearly as she possibly can, with pronouncing every single word perfectly, like she's been told to, but without any feeling of realism. And I found that in Line of Duty.
No.
No, what was the thing called, Claire, that she was in 20 years ago? Mini-series, State of Play.
Yeah.
I just hated her in that. She was in an episode of Black Mirror. I thought I just wasn't convinced by her at all. The exception being Train Spotting, in which I thought she was brilliant, and now this, which I thought she was great in. So maybe it's just she's getting bad scripts or bad direction or something. Because I thought she was wonderful in this. Just like you say, Laura, really believable in the period role, and really believable as a sort of lady's maid who's just a beginner, is just trying to do her best and get by, but is also a little curious about the world around her and trying to do what's right while also trying not to tread on anyone's toes. And there's a lot for that. And she did all the different emotions. She did happy, she did sad, she did frightened, she did confused, she did perceptive, and she did all the different faces, and that was good. So I guess she's just a good actor, but
yeah,
definite instinct that I really wanted to like give her a hug and tell her everything was going to be okay. She was very just like a sort of wounded deer that you want to look after.
Yeah, she was like a wounded deer. Next,
we're getting into people I don't remember. Robert Parks, played by Clive Owen.
Oh yeah, I loved him.
Yeah, he was great.
Cool.
Fancied him quite a lot. He was the murderer.
Oh, he was the murderer. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was tall, dark, and handsome, wasn't he?
Found him quite compelling. The way he just lounged. He was like a lion in a cage. A big cat, ready to pounce.
He was very secretive as well, wasn't he?
Very slinked places. Arrogant. Handsome.
Quite frightening. I was... did Mary fancy him?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I think she was intrigued by him.
Yeah.
She was so innocent. It was hard to tell if she really... I don't think she was lusting after him. I think she was just curious about him.
Yeah, okay. Because we had this... I think the scenes reflected each other quite well. The scene where she kissed Robert and the scene where she was, I guess, assaulted by the American actor.
Yeah.
And it was sort of in an identical looking room, and
the same room.
Oh, it was the same room, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was when she'd come up to do one thing or whatever. But yeah, the way those two scenes played out were very different somehow, very comparable. I thought it was an interesting comparison between them.
Maybe this is why I thought she was passive, because she didn't really... Oh, no, to be fair, actually, when she really fought off Henry, got away from him.
And it was interesting that she didn't do that with Robert.
Yeah, you're right.
Very different sort of thing.
So
I wonder if she liked him. Yeah, I suppose she'd gone
down to Carpe the Diem, didn't she?
Yeah.
I think she went there to find out if he'd killed someone.
Yeah. Which is
I thought she'd gone down there to, I don't know, ask him out.
Do you think?
Right.
Oh,
But
I
she
thought
wanted to know first if
right,
he was
okay.
a murderer.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
And it
I think she
turned
wanted-
out that he was.
But he hadn't actually killed the guy, and she understood his reasoning, and therefore she kissed him.
Yeah. But then she left,
Oh.
didn't she?
Yeah, I thought it was more like she felt like she had to find out if he'd killed him. And then he kisses her and she's sort of shocked and surprised by that and then just sort of leaves to deal with it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Certainly there was some chemistry between them, though, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Brilliant.
But he was withering.
Do you think he was withering?
I think he was quite withering.
I think he was
especially in the beginning.
smouldering.
Oh, yeah, he was smouldering, withering. They're so close to one another.
This is fun. Do you know, I quite like this approach to the discussion, just doing it one character at a time.
I like this. I was worried how we were going to fill the time because I actually didn't have anything to say about the film.
Mrs. Wilson is next, as played by Helen Mirren.
She was great.
Wonderfully played, I thought.
Yeah, just fantastic.
She was
I think
good.
she won an Oscar for it.
Did she?
Yeah.
She should have done.
Yeah, good
Just
performance.
so composed.
Yeah,
Right,
really,
to the beginning until she really...
really withering as well.
She was also withering. Was she not smouldering?
I don't really know what withering means. I've just been going along with it all the time.
I don't know what withering means.
It means it sort of puts people down.
It's sort of like icy cold, sort of like a withering stare is something that's really scornful.
Okay. Oh yeah, that was Mrs. Wilson, all right. And then we've got her unexpected sister, Mrs.
Oh, hang on.
Croft.
Should we
sorry,
go
on.
into Mrs. Wilson's? If we just give a Cliff Note summary of her deal.
Yeah, what was the thing?
What was the thing again?
You know, the climax of the whole film.
Robert Parks was her son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had worked in the factory under William.
Yeah.
And then had Robert and been convinced to give him away.
Yes, she thought he was being adopted into a family, and then she only learned that he'd been dumped in an orphanage when she recognised her son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you remember, right back in the beginning, he comes in and she asks for his name, and he says Parks. And you immediately see her eyes, like, kind of light up. I didn't really pick up on this the first time, but every time he's in a room, she's sort of staring at him. And when they're walking, she's like, is that... what was it? I can't remember. She said, an Isleworth Parks. Are you any relation? He said, nope, London. So I don't think she knows until she goes into his room and she sees this photograph.
I see.
Oh, you can also tell when the servants are at the dinner table and he says, I grew up in an orphanage. She's like staring at him really intensely.
Wow, I didn't notice it.
That's where I first picked up on the idea that there might be something in the past with them.
Yeah. And she's just shocked at the photograph. And that's when I was like, oh, I bet she's his mum.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I put it together that William must be his dad, but that was because I'd read the Netflix thing that William was going to be murdered, and it all just kind of fell into place from there, rather than anything in the film saying that. Yeah. Until you hear about the factories and the fact that he was, it all comes out then. But yes, I liked that. I found the end moving as well when she burst into tears in her room. So it was very convincing.
Oh, and her sister comes and
supports her.
Yeah.
Tears in my eyes.
So that was cool.
Very cool.
Sorry, that was a bad... I was trying to
sisters
move...
are reunited after, 20 years of feuding.
Wicked, whatever. Sorry, that was a bad transition to the next person, which is Mrs. Croft.
Yes.
Who is her sister, who I guess we just said about.
It's almost like the link was there.
I really like Mrs. Croft, and I don't know why she didn't get that much screen time, but she was very compelling as well. Withering.
Very withering.
Doesn't eat meat. Get a bit
funny.
of there.
That's what I was meaning by the the servants being bigger snobs than the upstairs lots. This very precise view of how the world should be and terrified that anything might change it.
Excuse me, I was not a factory worker. I was never a factory worker. I was a cook.
In a factory.
She was great.
She was. Next on my list is Elsie. Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, I liked it when she made Dorothy sit and listen to the music.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I think was one of my favourite scenes. When Ivor starts playing the piano and all the servants are just like clustered around the doors trying to listen, having to scatter every time one of them walks out. It was fun.
And that was also when the murder happened, wasn't it?
That was when the murder happened, yeah.
Yeah, brilliant stuff.
Yeah, it was playing this very cheerful piano tune about a duke. Very incongruous kind of background music for a murder. Anyway.
It made me think of, a lot of this made me think of Jeeves and Wooster, but those piano tunes in particular, where Bertie Wooster's always playing some terrible piano piece he's just got with these really vacuous, stupid words. Yeah. Love it. Elsie.
Great.
She was awesome. She was
very cool.
One of my favourites. Very cool, very
great.
cynical, quite jaded, but caring as well, even if she pretended not to be. She cared about William. She cared about like our hero Mary. Even
she really helped
even
Mary
if she
out.
didn't like to act like it.
She had bigger dreams. You know, she said, William told me I could be anything I wanted to be. She's got her wall covered in film stars.
Yeah.
I think she had a good end as well. Her going off with the Hollywood producer or getting
Yeah. Where will she
gives
be?
us enough potential.
Yeah, maybe she's going to go to Hollywood.
Maybe.
Yeah. Carry the dog around in her handbag.
She could be in the next Charlie Chan film.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, that was nice. We got Jennings. Who was that? Alan Bates.
The butler.
The butler. Yeah, he was all right.
Yeah,
He was fine. Felt a bit sorry for him in the end. Just lived a bit of a sad, hollow life, I think. It was nice that he had Dorothy in love with him.
Oh, yeah, that was
enjoyed
sweet.
their little relationship.
Yeah, Jennings and Dorothy. Yeah, she said that she'd do anything for him, didn't she?
Yeah. Which, again, is kind of there from the beginning. She's always talking to her. She's always being like, is everything all right, Jennings? And he comes in and asks her if she's all right doing the sewing with the light.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, life can be quite good for everyone if we all treat each other with a bit of kindness, can't it?
Yeah. I liked how rude he was to Henry as well.
What did he say to Henry?
Just when it was discovered that Henry was like playing a joke on them. Anyway,
Oh, yes.
Coffee. There it is.
Threw the coffee on him too.
Oh, that was George.
Oh, that was George. Yeah, okay.
Which also, when Maggie Smith started laughing at that point, I'd laughed out loud along with her because I was
That was the first time she'd laughed in the whole thing or smiled, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Probert, Derek Jacobi.
Oh, who was that?
Good old Derek Jacobi. He was good.
I can't really remember.
He was.
Was he William's valet?
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
The older guy.
Because there was the other valet who I get him a bit mixed up with.
No, he's the one that came in and saw William.
Right, and he moved him. Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you. Yeah, he was just sort of sweet
very
and nice.
dutiful, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Played it well. Derek Jacobi's great.
Yeah, he was walking to, because he'd been told that the police wanted to speak to him, and Mr. Weissman was on the phone being like, the valet clearly did it. And he just started to look really, really worried. So I wondered if he was putting on the sobbing.
Oh, maybe.
Like, make himself seem more innocent.
Oh, that's the point.
Yeah. Next.
We've got George, played by Richard E. Grant.
Love George. Fernando.
Who is George? Oh, let me look at a picture of this person. He looks so different. I don't remember him being in the film.
Are you looking up current pictures of him?
Yes, this is the Wikipedia.
He's quite old now.
65.
More than 20 years ago now, isn't it?
Oh, wait, I think I remember him. Maybe I don't.
I think after him, we're getting into minor characters now. Arthur, Dorothy, Lewis, Barnes, Sarah, Renee, Bertha. Just sort of.
Dorothy was I felt so bad for Dorothy. She every time.
Yeah.
I felt like it was like, oh, I'm disappointed in you, especially you, Dorothy.
I know.
Oh, yes.
Bless her.
This is why I thought that he might have liked her back.
Yeah.
That's a very thing to say when you're like, oh, I'm just, especially in you, Dorothy. I thought we were two of a kind.
Poor Dorothy.
Oh.
Dorothy. I liked her little speech when she found Commander Meredith eating the jam.
Yeah, that was adorable.
Oh, speech about love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a lovely scene. We've got some strawberry if you want that.
Oh.
Weirdly, that reminded me of the scene in The Thick of It, where the ministers just met with Tucker and he's sitting at the back eating biscuits.
Yes.
And then, like, one of the members of staff comes in and she's like, oh, would you like me to get you some more? It's like, yes. She comes in with this big plate of biscuits and he's just sitting there eating them. I just need to eat to make it a bit better. We've all been there.
Just spoon the jam into your mouth.
Yeah, that'll fix it.
Yeah, I think that was all the characters I'd kind of had any interest in. I like the one. Oh, I like the valet who was just endlessly rude and fed up. Do you remember him?
Was that most of them?
There was one who was really fed up, though.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
He was Meredith's valet, and he overheard them saying, the bastard's death might have just saved my bacon. And he went and told the police about it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway,
Wow, good film.
Good film. Well, a bit of a flop, sounds like, but, you know.
No, I liked
but
it.
Try.
I liked it.
We haven't done symbolism. Hang on, we have to do symbolism.
All right.
Oh, should I play the flute? Let me.
Oh, yes, please.
Yeah.
So what did the jam represent?
Oh, yeah. The jam was love and stuff.
Wait, what was strawberry jam and what was raspberry? It was in
Love and hatred. Prosperity and desperation.
Yeah, raspberry jam's sort of sharper somehow, isn't it? It's more pointed.
He ate the raspberry when he was sad. He ate the strawberry when he was cheering up a bit.
Yeah.
When he'd been shown some kindness. Okay, we've really got quite a lot of this jam thing.
I'm going to say not a very symbolic film.
No, played it
We
quite
saw
straight,
things
didn't
like
it?
them dropping the Bloody Mary all over the floor like blood.
Oh, yeah. I liked it, Jennings. That was the first hint we got of him being an alcoholic, was he had a little taste of the Bloody Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they sort of were quite clear about the class stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really need to go into that. The song at the end was about the land of make-believe and being somewhere up there. So, like, it's from the perspective of being downstairs. They were like, somewhere up there's a land of make, or something like that.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so upstairs is the upper class, isn't it? And downstairs is all of the servants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
Interesting that the servant used the silver carving knife to kill him,
Ooh.
not one of the kitchen knives,
because
that's probably the only kitchen utensil that the upstairs people would ever use, would be the ceremonial carving,
that's right.
using the
good.
silver
Yeah.
knife. And so that's him being killed by his own privilege or something,
Oh, nice.
because he was taking advantage of all those women and using his position of power to create all this hurt and pain. And then that's what was used to kill him.
Nice. Have you got anything about the pheasants?
No, I wanted to talk about the pheasants, though.
Disregard for anything they see as less important than themselves.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
was horrible. I didn't like that they shot real pheasants for it.
They shot real pheasants?
They did.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
sorry. Yeah.
And I wondered what the position was with that in regards to the law, because I know you're not allowed to So there are some rules on what you're allowed to do in the name of making a film and what you're not. And most films will have this notice about no animals were harmed in the shooting of this film, which I noticed it didn't say for this film. I wondered what the deal was with that.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Because clearly people do go and shoot pheasants. This is something people do.
Yeah. Maybe you're allowed to use it if you've just gone and filmed a pheasant hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is it okay if they were going to do it anyway? Or is it okay because this happens every day? It's not like a sort of unusual, cruel thing that we're doing just for the film. If you have a scene of someone fishing, should you use real fishing? Or it seemed an odd one. I think it's pretty rotten going out and shooting the birds for any reason.
Yeah.
That scene told us a lot about William's character, didn't it?
That was quite funny. That he can't. It's a terrible shot.
It's the gun's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it when Morris was like, "Are pheasants dangerous?" to Charles Dance, who clearly hates him.
He was such a snob, wasn't he?
He was the most snob. I liked it when he asked Ivor if William's mum had done something extraordinary or something. Like, clearly knowing that William's not born into wealth, he's like, "Oh, what did his mother do? Something wonderful, no doubt." Such a toffee-nosed snob. I love him, though. I'd kind of like him to be with me in everyday life. Just being mean about everything I'm doing.
Wow. Not the guy I'd pick to follow me around. You'd never get bored, though, would you?
No, that's true.
Yeah. I don't think it was symbolism, but I think we were meant to think a couple of the characters were gay. I'm not doing this because I think it's pretty. I'm not doing my usual thing. I'm not reading into symbolism. I think we genuinely were meant to know.
Oh yeah.
Yes, good.
I'm just getting nervous that you're now going to say, but not the obvious ones.
No, I don't have any. I think it was a pretty.
Yeah, so
the straight film in every sense.
Elsie was definitely gay.
Yeah, well, she did come in on Mary in the Bath, didn't she?
She did. She was so gay.
Was there meant to be a hint there?
No.
This is something that was discussed widely. Has anyone seen Upstairs, Downstairs?
No.
This is just a wonderful series. It was, I guess, almost a soap opera in the 70s, a period drama that was on TV. And being on TV in the 70s in Britain, it was sort of very stripped back, kind of stagey sets, almost like watching a play each week. And they really explored like every aspect of it's called Upstairs, Downstairs, of the difference between the serving class and the upper class that they're waiting on and how they interact. It addresses a lot of different things about this, and one of them was housemaids would have to share a bed and would spend all their time together, and there were maybe one or two pairings of these women that stayed together, and you'd see their life going on, and there were just these tiny hints of, is there something a bit, are they sort of a little bit in love? And it's sort of a sad, not quite, there was some tenderness, but not quite falling in love, and it's been discussed a lot whether you're supposed to read what would you say, like a sapphic subtext of Upstairs, Downstairs, and it was the same kind of thing that Elsie and Mary had, where Elsie was kind of helping her and showing her a bit of kindness, and they were quite close quite quickly.
Except this was very explicit, and there was no room for doubt.
I see. Would you care to point out the thing that I must have missed?
Well, it was obvious that they were in love.
I like it when
gay.
Yeah, I like it when this isn't me. This is great.
Yeah.
I agree with Fernando. I hadn't thought that before, but now I do.
Now he's said it. So we had maybe two explicit couplings, right? One of them was the the ghastly American and the other ghastly American.
Yes.
When he was still posing as Scottish, and he said, "Well, I see you later," and he was like,
Yes.
I don't think that would be a good idea, would it?
Very good.
So they were something like lovers, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But I got the impression maybe the young one wasn't really into it. He was just sort of
Yeah, I think
trying
so.
to get ahead.
Mm-hmm. They make that very explicit in a deleted scene, which again I'm glad they got rid of because they didn't.
How
it was there in the
explicit.
subtext. Oh, not very. Sorry, that was
Good stuff.
It was basically a replay of this, but they were with Ivor in a sort of public sitting room, and he was like, "Well, I see you tonight, Henry," and he was like, "Nah, I don't think so." And then Ivor was like, "He's just using you, you know." And Morris is like, "I'm using him as well," and it was just a bit horrible and seedy.
Okay.
And yeah, there you go. Anyway, who else do you think?
The two guys who were late for dinner, Rupert and Jeremy.
What?
Maybe not.
No,
Okay.
they were just friends.
Oh,
I mean, one of them was trying to marry Isabel.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess that doesn't really.
No, I think I've
doesn't
just
really
got a
stop it.
feeling about it.
Oh, interesting.
Was there another? Oh, yes, there was one.
And one of them was
servant.
shagging the scullery maid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've just fucked that up there. They were in a room together at one point, and they were clearly good friends.
Yeah.
How about, there was one servant who was a bit infatuated with one of the men that he might have
With
been
Ivor.
serving, right? With Ivor.
Yes. Yeah, I thought that as well. Really wanted to dress Ivor.
Yeah.
But I think he's teased about wanting to see him in his undergarments by George.
Yeah. I thought George was coded as gay.
George is so camp. But Richard E. Grant's really camp.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard
Maybe
to...
that's why they picked him.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, it's good anyway.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I'm glad I don't have to... honestly, it's such a stress whenever I have to fight. It's fine. Can we remember any of the ridiculous rules? I know we should be wrapping up there, but there were a few. I thought they were interesting.
The rules of precedence and all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, so that was one. The rules of precedence at the servants' table.
Yeah, and so they had, if you are the servant of a duke, then you outrank the servant of a countess, and they outrank the servant of a baron. Yeah, I quite like that.
Unmarried women are not brought a tray
Yes,
for
brilliant.
breakfast.
Yeah.
Well remembered.
Not in this house.
I think the only other one I remember is Charles Dance deigning to tell Morris that an Englishman always serves himself at breakfast. Was never waited on at breakfast, I think he said.
Yeah.
Why would they make that distinction just for breakfast?
Who knows? I don't understand rich people.
I assume it's something like because everyone will be coming down for breakfast at different times, so it's more convenient for them just to help themselves, or maybe because people all have different tastes for breakfast. Some people will have almost no breakfast at all, and some will like a big breakfast. Whereas maybe for lunch and dinner, you can more rely on everyone will just have what they're given. I hadn't heard of that, but I don't.
Do you think they're still exactly like that today?
Surely not.
Like the upper class?
I think there's so few of them that live in sort of ancestral homes like that now, right? It's like Les Visiteurs. They've all rented it out or sold it to the National Trust or something, and they're living in a
well done on the
flat in
link.
London. Ah, yes. The collapsing upper classes. In fact, we even saw that transition at the end, didn't we? Her saying, them saying, "Will you keep the house? Do you think?" And them saying, "Well, I don't really know. It's so much bother." And I think that's probably what a lot of the old aristocrats say now. I mean, these old homes, probably even the time we're seeing there, or even the Victorian period, they had these big homes, but basically they were a hangover from when they were actually feudal lords and needed to impress people. And they just got to, these tiny families with huge numbers of staff just maintaining these houses that were barely used, kind of with their money dwindling away. None of them ever, occasionally losing it all, and no one ever really picking it up again.
Interesting.
I wonder how many people have a personal staff nowadays must be tiny compared to back then.
They should try and make some extra cash by shoeing soldiers in the Sudan.
Yeah, why not? I'm your man. Let me tell you. This may not be the time for it, but...
Desperate.
Truly desperate. So here's a question.
I think there's just very briefly. I think there's a very comparable... I started watching... This is my only life news. I started watching the show Below Deck Mediterranean. Has anyone seen it?
No.
Fernando? Oh, you should watch it. I think we would
I'll watch it.
It's a reality TV show, so you'd all hate it, I'm sure. About staff on a super yacht.
Yeah.
And it's really weirdly comparable, even though it's modern day and it's super American and like really dramatic. But they're catering to these millionaires who just treat them like absolute shit, and they're all so misogynist and awful. But the staff are snobbish as well. They're always talking about, oh, these ones are new money. I hate new money. Sort of thing.
No.
It's amazing. It's just, yeah. I didn't really put it together until I was trying to think of things to say for this, and I was like, oh my god, it's like Below Deck.
Yeah.
Anyway, recommend it. It's a dreadful show for dreadful people.
You're the sort of person that watches Hamlet and says, oh, this is just like The Lion King.
Yeah. Oedipus! Oh my god, that was my symbolism. It was the Oedipus thing.
Hello.
Yeah. He didn't want to fuck
he killed his dad, didn't he?
I thought he did want to. Remember when she came in his room? He didn't know he was his mum, and there was a weird tension between them. And I think
thought there was maybe meant to be something there.
Yeah, I think because he was looking at, I can't believe you forget much, Mrs. Wilson. Very saucy.
Yeah.
Ooft.
Oh, hello, young man.
Achtermachtig.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got, though.
To be fair to Oedipus, he did both those things by accident.
It would have
always
been...
feel they need to qualify that.
Did he kill his dad back? I'm not that familiar with it. Killed him by accident?
Yeah.
Well, he killed him deliberately, but didn't know it was his dad, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's why I have limited sympathy for him.
I don't know. Well, in Greek morality, killing your father was way worse than any other sort of murder.
Yeah, okay.
So, using the moral standard at the time, he wasn't as bad as people now make him out to be.
Yeah. I think I've just about said all my thoughts.
Yeah, me too.
It was a good film. Thank you for picking it.
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Good choice.
Yeah, all right. So disappointing when something just flops like that.
I think we all said it was good.
Oh, good, okay. I just wanted to say it. I like
better than some of the other shit you've made us watch.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I can't. I'm just astonished. I wouldn't say it was better than Highlander, for God's sake.
It was a lot better than Highlander.
Highlander had Sean... Oh, this was totally missing Sean Connery.
That's exactly what Michael said.
Yeah.
Sean Connery turns up here, I'm going to lose my shit.
It was after I sat down watching Stephen Fry. I was like, "What? Where's this going?"
Good choice.
Excellent. Right, shall I play the music?
Please.
Any last thoughts? Oh, yes.
No, wait.
Yes. Do you think that maybe the royal family is somewhat similar to what we just saw
What a
in the
great
film?
closing thought.
Oh, yeah. For sure, definitely.
There's a slight difference, right, in that they're not trying to climb anywhere. A lot of what was happening here was people trying to get in with someone else or trying to preserve their allowance or do that sort of thing. And I imagine with the royal family, they know they've made it and must feel like they've got nothing to prove.
Made it. You know, they were
They've
born
got
into it.
it.
Real success story.
Yeah, they come from nothing, haven't they?
Pull themselves up by their diamond-encrusted bootstrap.
Oh, you've just reminded me. I had some facts about this film. It's really rapid. I'll just fire them off. There's always a servant in every scene. So we never get the perspectives of the rich on their own. We're always like with the servants, basically.
But the servants don't count as human beings.
Well, exactly. So it doesn't even matter. And it was the camera's always moving. Don't know why. It's just never still.
Yeah.
What was I had one more. What was it? Oh yeah, he instead of using a boom mic to capture people separately, he just mic'd them all up and had them all talk to each other. and then sort of sifted through the sounds, so that the background noise is the character saying their lines, but he just cuts some and whatnot.
Okay.
Cool.
Because I found it very difficult to hear what was going on a lot of the time. We had to put the subtitles on.
Did
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. I wonder if the balance wasn't quite right for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit overwhelming at times.
Yeah.
I think this is why you need. It's a film that really comes into its own on a second watch.
I
I
could
remember
really
the first
see
time I
myself
was way
rewatching this.
too much. Yeah, I didn't know who anyone's. It's a lot easier when you know people's names
Cool.
and can listen out for these little tidbits and details. Oh, they paid $1,000 for rolls of per roll of wallpaper for one scene, and had to get permission to the owners of the house. And then when the filming was done, they decided they didn't like it and just took it all off and binned it off.
Oh no.
So it didn't match their bedding.
Wow. So I guess some people are still like that.
Yeah. Oh, bring back the guillotine, eh?
French Revolution Mark II.
Cool. Should I play the music?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Three, 2, 1.
Scissors.
Oh, why?
Oh, the Scissor Man! Never
I've
doubt
got
the
it.
Scissor Man.
Never doubt the Scissor Man. I have chosen the film.
Oh, wonderful.
I've been thinking about this one for a while, and I hope we like it. Star Wars, 1977.
Wow. Excellent.
And I have a suggestion as well.
Okay.
This is there have been various different cuts of this over the years, and I'm recommending that we watch what's called the despecialized edition, which is as close as possible to the original thing that came out in the cinema. And I can help you find that.
Okay.
Wink, wink. So, Star Wars, 1977.